Nada. Aku juga naging ako sa transport. Nada, ano juga na transport.
I want to congratulate the Fiji Correctional Service for being on track to vaccinate all of your officers. I believe all members of this institution, save for one, are fully vaccinated, and that remaining officer is awaiting dose number 2. Thanks to all of you who are among the over 595,000 adults in Fiji who have rolled up their sleeves to get the jab. We achieved our mission to vaccinate over 80% of adults 3 weeks ahead of schedule. Now our parks are filling with people playing sports and exercising. Our houses of worship and places of work are open. And soon, our borders will reopen to our friends around the world so that our family and friends who work in the tourism industry can return to the jobs they love. Slowly but surely, we are becoming the Fiji we envisioned many months ago when we took the decisive measures that have delivered this decisive success. But our work is not finished. I will not be satisfied until we vaccinate more of our under-18s and as many of the eligible adults that remain unvaccinated as possible. You may know an unvaccinated person. It may be your cousin, aunt or uncle, or God forbid, a grandparent who is especially vulnerable. Urge them to come forward and be protected, as we all have. I know I can trust you to do through this ordeal. The Fiji Correctional Service has been a leader in the adoption of COVID-safe practices. To limit exposure in your ranks and within the facilities you operate, some of your officers worked in isolation within corrections facilities for 5 to 6 weeks at a time. Some, I've heard, as long as 8 weeks. Those months away from family in the service of this institution undoubtedly helped slow the spread of the virus until enough Fijians were vaccinated. We know volume. And your institution fully enlisted in our national COVID-19 response. The intensity of our campaign demanded many of us to take on roles we did not expect, but your officers did not hesitate. You joined food ration delivery teams and served as drivers, technical and operational staff in call centers, and as part of the Ministry of Health and Medical Services FEMAT response teams. When our ambulance driving teams had to enter quarantine as a result of exposure to the virus, I understand one of your number, Officer Lace Shoot, stepped up as a substitute ambulance driver to transport ill patients to treatment centers. I don't know if Officer Lace Shoot is here with us. Is she here? Please stand up and let me, oh, thank you. Can we put our hands together? Thank you for your service. Today we officially commissioned 2 new capital projects. One is a new interfaith chapel that the Fiji Correctional Service officers have self-funded. The other is a new transport office funded and built by your government. The former, this one here, shows the commitment of the Fiji Correctional Service to its communities of faith and the bonds between its officers. And the one across the road shows the commitment of your government to the vital service you all offer the nation. Effective institutions require both forms of commitment to function at the highest level. The values of excellence, service, and camaraderie must echo through your ranks, as well as be espoused by your leadership and government. And that is what we are celebrating today. To fix up your old chapel, the staff of the Fiji Correctional Service raised over $140,000. Thanks to that effort, the doors of the new chapel are now open to your servicemen and women of all faiths who seek to pray within its walls and seek quiet contemplation. Congratulations on your achievement. And the new transport office across the road, funded and built by your government, will be a new logistical hub for the Fiji Correctional Service, as well as a home away from home for your officers. It was constructed at a cost of $142,245, $142,245, and of course contains houses, showers, toilets, and change room for your living out personnel, as well as duty drivers and CCTV personnel. I don't need to tell any of you here that your government has your back. Government has your back all the time. Annual financial commitment from my government to the Fiji Correctional Service dwarfs that past governments. Those funds have raised your salaries and improved your equipment and facilities. We constructed the first women's correction facility outside of Suva. We have brought this institution's practices in line with international standards, including the introduction of community-based correction systems. This year, $500,000 allocation is going towards the construction of a new 600 personnel main cell block to ensure you and the inmates have appropriate facilities. I wouldn't approve the building of a new cell block if I knew it wasn't helping to address the root cause of criminality in Fiji. Too often around the world, we see poorly managed correction systems that only succeed in perpetuating criminality. Too often, their prisons are breeding grounds for unsavory connections that keep inmate trapped in a cycle of criminality. And too often, when inmates are released, it is only a matter of time before the majority end up back in prison. In Fiji, we know that the prison system is a failure if it does not rehabilitate those who carry out their sentences within it. We are striving for a criminal justice system and a correction service that succeeds in making for a safer and more compassionate country. You are the Fiji Correction Service, and the service you offer is the reintegration of those who have been imprisoned back into society. I'm very proud that over a 2-year period, the recidivism rate for the Fiji Correction Service is only 1.06%. 1.06%. One of the lowest in the world. We see that success in the many Fijians who have served the sentences fairly and who go about their lives peaceful, law-abiding Fijians. Thank you all for all you do. And you will all continue to keep Fiji safe and deliver justice that is firm but also focused on the good that can be created by a well-run correction service. Now, we thank you and God bless you all.